they are. So I just want to highlight Common Cause Texas. Big fan, obviously, because I am a Texan, but also just a really big fan of how they've been using their digital presence to push for democracy in that state. So it is my pleasure to introduce Sophia from Common Cause Texas.
Yeah. Hey y'all, I'm Sofie. I'm the digital organizer for Common Cause Texas, and I'm based in Dallas. I'm very much a digital girly, and I heavily rely on the power of the internet and social media to receive my daily news and continue my work in digital advocacy. I first got started or introduced to politics and democracy work in high school during the 2016 presidential election, and was unfortunately too young to vote. But that, didn't stop me from wanting to be more politically engaged. So I did what every Gen Z person does, and I went on the internet and social media to try and learn what I could do and see if there's anything else. I'm from a border town in South Texas where civic education basically doesn't exist, and I really wanted to change that. So decided to get involved in democracy work, specifically voting rights. After trying to talk about politics with my friends, I kind of realized that we were all pretty uneducated on the civic process and politics in general. None of us knew how to register to vote. We didn't know what the process was. Our government officials, we knew nothing, and which it was an issue. So obviously I had to go on the internet and see if I could answer these questions for myself, and also so that I could at least be a resource for my friends that were eligible to vote. So yeah, and throughout that whole research thing that I was doing, I learned that voter registration. I learned all the voter registration qualifications, and even learned that our very own high school was a polling location, and that Texas has a high school voter registration law where principals are supposed to register high school seniors to vote twice a year, but that doesn't happen. So what I did is I went on Facebook and Instagram and tried to contact all my friends and family that were eligible to vote and be like, hey, do you need help? Do you know the process? Because I just learned it. But yeah, after high school, I kind of continued this work at my university and started a voter registration and voter education organization. We registered over 5,000 students and faculty to vote, and truly would not have been able to do that and reach all of those people without social media and having internet access. But yeah, so more currently, my work at Common Cause Texas is pretty important because I run the digital programming, like social media accounts and the email list. So that's how we update our followers and people about what's going on in the Texas political realm. This legislative session, the Common Cause Texas team had to do a lot of rapid response actions, and that always meant using the internet, posting on social media, sending email blasts and press release statements to reach as many people as possible within a timely manner. One specific time where our team had to quickly bring awareness to the public was when our legislature, with only 48 hours notice, decided to hear over 15 election subversion bills concurrently, so all at the same time. And so, what did we do? We had to rely on our digital advocacy to inform the public on what's happening in their state and what they can do to help, whether that meant coming to the Capitol in person to testify, or submitting an online written testimony, or emailing your representative. We wanted to demonstrate that no matter where you are across the state, you can still get involved and you can still make a change. But yeah, since I work in all things digital, I can truly advocate that the internet truly has revolutionized the way that we view advocacy and political organizing, because now we have the ability to host virtual spaces like the one we're in right now, where we can discuss and learn things from people all over the country, and we wouldn't have been able to do that beforehand. Yeah, I think it's always important to remember that when you use the internet to reach people, whether it's a webinar, or social media, you aren't just reaching a single person, but their entire network as well. So, like for example, I could share something onto my story, or you could share something onto your Facebook wall, or you could retweet things on Twitter, or just by word of mouth and telling your friends, like, hey, did you see this on Instagram? Did you see this on TikTok? Did you see this on Facebook? Did you know this was happening? And it's cool to see how it becomes like a chain reaction of people sharing out this information, who might not have been like integrated into politics at all. I'd say it's pretty clear that using the internet and social media is by far the quickest way to spread information to a large amount of people, like all at the same time. I feel like since I was born into the digital internet age, I can't really imagine how accessing current information quickly would have been done before the internet. I like to think that we would still be using carrier pigeons or something, but I'm just kidding, because I know that print media exists and existed before the internet. But yeah, if you would like to get plugged into Texas politics through Common Cause Texas, I'd highly encourage you to follow us on social media. You can see all of our handles on the screen. Join our email list, through our email list, we actually send a bi-weekly newsletter about everything that's happening in Texas politics. So it's kind of like a condensed version, so you know everything that's happening. Or you can sign up for a webinar. We have a webinar coming up. Our regular legislative session is wrapped up, so we're rolling out a public education campaign of all of the bills that passed this session and how they impact like everyday Texans and just like general information on Texas politics. We're hosting a webinar on Monday, which is the day after the 10-year anniversary of the Supreme Court case, Shelby County v. Holder. If you don't know what that court case is, you can learn about it at our webinar. You can scan the QR code with your phone. It'll take you to the sign-up link. But yeah, if that webinar, we're going to learn about everything that's happened since Shelby County v. Holder, and learn about Texas voting rights and how not much has changed in 10 years, unfortunately. Thank you for listening, and if you couldn't already tell, I'm a huge believer in digital advocacy, and without access to the internet, I quite literally would not have a job. Thanks, Braylon.
Totally. Thank you so much, Sophia. I just want to say that, there we go. One, as a Texan myself, so I'm a displaced Texan. I'm in Pennsylvania right now, so I quite literally rely on the internet to be able to access all the cool stuff that Common Cause Texas is doing. And I'm sending it to all of my cousins and my sister in the state, like, look, something's happening. You better pay attention. Or my friends in Austin, go to the Capitol right now. And I'm just saying that this ability to just like quickly exchange information like that and take action and get involved has been amazing. It's really opened up civic engagement and participating in our democracy. So people who might not ever have been able to do that because the information just traditionally would not get to them fast enough. So I'm just going to talk very briefly, not my entire story or anything like that, but I do want to just